take fucking 6 now, Orlok. So I've been in one of my moods lately where I like to make videos pretty much one after the other because I've been enjoying the editing process lately. And inevitably right around the corner I'll get into one of my moods where I don't like making videos, but at least then I'll have a small backlog of shit to post before I find myself in a video making mood again. And this is like take 6 now, because this dude right here is not in the mood to just hang out. He wants to either be up on the couch or right in my goddamn face. But it's okay, look how fucking cute he is. Hi. Go do something. Go do something else. Alright, so I pulled some shit out. And actually I didn't pull it out. I have one of the records pulled out because I was playing it earlier. But the others are still on the shelf, and I'll just get them out as I talk about them. In the background, we have this. This is Black Magic SS, Hidden in Plain Sight. This is actually probably one of like the rarer tapes in my collection. And I got this directly from the Infinite Wisdom guy. Yeah, I just bought it off him. But yeah, stoked to have this one. We're gonna just talk about some new shit that's made its way into my collection over the past little while. All of these records are relatively new into my collection. And the first thing we're gonna talk about here is a record that I've been wanting to see get repressed basically since I started collecting records. There was a repress of this back in 2016. But I completely fucking missed it. I didn't even know what happened until this repress. And this is a record that I was super fucking into back in the year it came out, back in 2012. And I never owned it on any format until now. And that is this. This is Belacor of Breath and Bone. So Belacor is a melodic death metal band from Australia. I guess from Melbourne, Australia. And this album was from back in 2012, like I said, but it wasn't put on vinyl until 2016. It was actually remastered for vinyl. It says that here on the back. It says it was remastered for vinyl back in March of 2016. So I assume the first vinyl press of this had the new mastering. But this is such a nostalgic record for me because, you know, even though it's only 8 years old, back when this came out, I was fucking obsessed. I really, really loved melodic death metal. Stuff like this, and Paths of Possession was another big one for me that I just fucking adored. And that being said, I never really heard the other stuff. There's an album that came before this called Stone's Reach, I think. I heard it once, but I don't remember liking it. Not like I liked this one anyway. And this whole record is as good as its first song, which is called Abeyance. Fucking incredible. And this is the third of 4 full-length albums that are all relatively evenly spaced in the discography, so we're about due for another one because the last one came out back in 2016, and to be honest, I never even heard it. But this whole thing is packed with just super great melodic riffs. The vocals are really good as well. They are kind of just growly, but you can easily make out everything this guy's saying. And just front to back, it's a very memorable record. So I really fucking dig it. The album cover is obviously a take on Little Red Riding Hood, which is super fucking cool. There's the back cover right there. This was put out through Napalm Records. And this is a gatefold. You have all the lyrics on the inside. And I don't honestly remember if this was pressed on more than just this color vinyl. Maybe there was like a black version. But I got the like half and half split with white splatter. Super fucking cool, man. I think this was limited to 300 copies as well. And it is a double LP. They both look just like this. The other one is just on the turntable. So there are a lot of people who like to just write melodic death metal off without really giving it a shot, which I think is lame as fuck. I think that's lame as fuck no matter what you do it with. There's all sorts of people. People even I consider friends who will shit on bands that they've literally never heard. And I think that shit is dumb. And I know Belacor is probably a band that would attract that kind of criticism because people are dumb. So, it's fantastic. I love it. I'm absolutely gonna use a few seconds from the song Abeyance because it's the best song on this record for me. Yeah, badass, man. Check it out if you've never heard it. Belacor of Breath and Bone. we're going to talk about a brand new 2020 album. And this is kind of a record from a band I would normally expect to miss shit from because it's so limited and it goes so quickly. And for me, that kind of shit is always like at least potential for grounds for dismissal. But I actually was recommended this band by people whose opinions I really trust. So, you know, I gave it a shot and I really liked what I heard. So I saw this pop up on Black Omen and I just fucking grabbed it. This is Vothana with Commando. So the big thing about Vothana that initially caught my attention was that it was an American black metal project that basically titled everything in Vietnamese, which is just really strange, but apparently, and I don't know this for certain because I haven't read lyrics, but apparently all of the lyrics are in Vietnamese, and they're all sort of about that kind of shit as well. So it's very interesting. So I don't exactly know the significance of the Vietnamese aspects of this, you know, because I don't know anything about the guy behind Vothana, but it's just a very unique thing. So like I said, this is a 2020 album, and in terms of raw black metal, I've not done a good job at keeping up with new shit. But this is really good. And this is the most recent release of a pretty big discography that has sort of been built in between now, all the way back to like 2003. And this is following the debut full length that came out, I believe, last year in 2019. But there was a big gap in releases from this band. So like from between like 08 and 19, there was nothing. And then, you know, since Vothana has returned, there's been a few releases already. And in terms of the music, it's pretty simple and repetitive type raw black metal, but because of that, sometimes it has a bit of like a hypnotic sort of quality to it. And it is quite noisy, but it's not over the top. And the vocals are super feral. And I think that those, you know, super like animalistic sounding vocals are always the best with like black metal in general. But this is really good, man. So the album cover there, it just looks like a few soldiers. But you can see at the bottom here, this is like titled in Vietnamese, and I guess maybe Commando is just the English translation. And Vothana's got a really fucking cool logo as well. On the back cover there, you have a picture of the man behind Vothana and all of the track titles in both Vietnamese and English. And at the bottom here, you have a bit of a write-up about how the spirit of black metal has been lost for many years. I think shit like that is pretty fucking just lame. Like the black metal is not for entertainment bullshit. But, you know, because not even the people writing that shit believes it. But, whatever. It seems to be pretty widely used, so maybe it's just like in the spirit of tradition. But I think it's dumb. And this doesn't come with anything. It is a double LP, and the labels are like camouflage, which is quite cool. But yeah, man, this is a really good record. I'm happy to own it. I just recently received the first Vothana full-length album as well. It actually came today, which is the first day of fall, by the way. Probably my favorite day of the year because the shitty seasons are now dead for the next 6 months or so. But yeah, man, just a lo-fi, nasty record. I dig it. Check it out if you've never heard it. That's Vothana with Commando. Alright, next up we're gonna look at some Japanese black metal. And maybe you prefer calling it black thrash, whatever you want to call it. This is Abigail with Intercourse and Lust. So this is the debut album from Abigail from all the way back in 1996. And if you know anything about Abigail, it's probably that this band's discography is absolutely massive. So because of that, and you know, just Abigail never really being a band that I sought to like collect everything from or hear everything from, I haven't heard it all. I've never heard more than a micro fraction of the shit that this band has done. I have 4 records now. 2 of them are like demos. The ones that Nuclear War Now just did. Nuclear War Now is actually about to repress this one as well. which is good for everybody who doesn't have it, because this has got to be the best thing Abigail's ever done. And I am absolutely talking out of my ass because I, like I said, never heard most of it. But this record is an absolute blast. Like, literally one of the most fun records in my entire collection. This record is packed with really, really fun black thrash riffs, plenty of instances. Orlok is a fan. From front to back, man, this is high energy, fun, catchy, every song. The vocals are super cool, like overly retched style, like black metal vocals. You got plenty of solos, plenty of times where you get to hear a nice, enthusiastic, oh! I mean, basically, in short, this is probably the most badass thing ever. The album cover's fucking awesome. I like to think that this is like an ancient painting and Japanese people have always been perverted. That's not an insult, by the way. I'm a perverted piece of shit myself. But I really like it. I also like the wood grain look that this thing has all over it. That's the back cover right there with all the track listing and some fucking awesome pictures of these dudes. Also, Japanese porn. There's a gatefold right there, another great picture of the band, and you got all the lyrics on the other side. The vinyl itself is just black, but I quite like that label right there. And you do get a poster. I'm sure probably all versions of this have come with this poster. But this is a 2014 Nuclear War Now press, if you're curious. But there you go. Abigail and of course the list, very cool. Yeah, man, I cannot overstate how absolutely gnarly this record is. I dig it, you'll dig it too. Check it out if you've never heard it. Abigail, and of course, the list. Alright, the next thing we're going to talk about. This is a death doom band that formed back in 1988 in New York. And this is the one and only full-length album from 1990. This is Winter with Into Darkness. So, at the beginning of August, Kaylee and I drove up to Columbus, Ohio. And while we were there, we went there to get tattooed, but while we were there, while she was getting tattooed, I wasn't allowed in the studio. They're just limiting people because of this COVID bullshit. So I knew about a record store there called Magnolia Thunderpussy. And I knew I wanted to go while she was getting tattooed, and I ended up leaving with this. It's a really great shop in a really cool area. I like Columbus quite a bit. But yeah, anyway, I left with this, and this is a record that I have been familiar with, at least sort of peripherally familiar with for a long time, but I never really knew it. I wasn't super familiar with it anyway. Now, this also includes the Eternal Frost EP, which I believe is from 1994. This is like a big like slip cover here. This isn't even the record. This was just repressed through Spart. So these are like just readily available right now. So if you want one, now's the time to get it. In terms of the music, this is super slow, very heavy death doom. I'm sure most of you are probably familiar with this record because it is just a bona fide classic. So I'm not super familiar with like the chronology of death doom. But being that this came out in like 1990, it might be fair to say that this is kind of like an influential record in the genre. I don't know. You guys have, any of you who have been watching me for any amount of time know that like the sort of death doom thing is not really, you know, like a big player in my collection. But, you know, I absolutely do like some of it, and like I said, I've been aware of this record for a while. It was just that I saw it in front of me was the reason I finally got to grab it. So I do like the death doom stuff. I just don't know the history, and I don't know what bands existed when and what bands were sort of more influential than others. But I imagine, being that it was 1990, Winter is probably at least in the conversation. In terms of the vocals, I don't know if, I've never heard anybody make the comparison, but the vocals remind me, at least in parts, of Chris Reifert vocals. I don't know. I don't know if that's just me, but they definitely, to me at least, have that quality to it. And that is absolutely a compliment. I really like the vocals. They fit very nicely with the super slow, heavy music. It's really cool. I really like the album cover. It's quite cool. The back cover of at least the big slip cover anyway. The back just has all the track listing and the tracks for the Eternal Frost EP, put out through Spart Records, like I said. And the actual jacket looks pretty much identical without the Eternal Frost tracks as well. But this does include a big booklet, which I'll show you. The booklet is pretty nice. It on the inside, it's got a bunch of like pieces of art and just flyers where this band had played live. It's really cool, man. I like when like releases include shit like this. You do have the original album notes here, which is quite cool. And I guess like a retrospective write-up from 2011 too. And as well as 2020, which I just noticed. And like I said, it does include the Eternal Frost EP. I'm really not familiar with this. I've only listened to it once and it's kind of more of the same. But I will show you the record. There's two of them and they both look like this. Clear vinyl, very cool. I believe it was 400 copies on clear and 600 on black. So in short, this is a Death Doom classic and I really like it. It's kind of made me curious about some of the other big Death Doom records that I've just never listened to before. So for the very tiny group of individuals out there who have never listened to this record, it comes highly recommended by me. That's Winter Into Darkness. Storms Alright, we're gonna finish this shit off with another 2020 full-length album. This is Cathartic Cervix with Equizoicum? So, Cathartic Cervix is a band from Germany, and they formed in like 2013. I think that this is only the second full-length album. They did a split release with Howls of Ebb, which I do have, just never talked about it on this channel. And I don't have the other one, though I would like to get my hands on it. This is one of the coolest things I've heard this year. This band is very, very capable of writing very like scary, apocalyptic, murky music, but just being super interesting at the same time. And this is definitely a chaotic record with lots of moments of like a very winding sensation. Lots of just fast, intricate riffs. But within all of that, there are some good riffs on this one, man. For me, the best thing about this is just the atmosphere that it creates, because it really does put you in a place that looks kind of like what's on the album cover here. The vocals are like these echoey, growly yells for the most part, which I really think works very nicely with the music on this one. And, you know, I'm having trouble finding a way to talk about this, but I guess to just sum it up, it's fast, it's fiery, and it's fucking deranged. But something about this band really intrigues me, and this record has definitely deepened that well. I really dig it. The album cover is completely fucking weird. It almost looks like a more detailed, like skillfully done version of like some weird donkey animal that like a 5-year-old would draw. I have no idea. I don't know what it is, but the color scheme is fucking gorgeous. Anyway, you got all the track listing and shit on the back. This put out through Iron Bonehead. I think it was 400 copies. This is a gatefold with more artwork on the inside, which is super cool. And it does come with an inner sleeve and all of the lyrics, as well as the vinyl itself, which is just black. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough for me to talk about shit like this because it is so intricate and strange, and Cathartic Cervix is just a strange band in general. You can tell by the way that they spell literally anything. But I like it a lot, and I wish I had a better mind for like reviewing music, because you know, talking about shit like this is a fucking mess for me. So if you want a more succinct review, Josh, Runner JMA, did one that was way better than anything I could do on the subject. So yeah, maybe just go watch that. But I wanted to talk about it because I really love this record. That's Cathartic Cervix with Equizoicum. So, that's it. I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do with this. I feel like this one was a fucking mess, but I'm gonna give it a shot, and hopefully I can make something at least usable. So I'm gonna probably get this one edited tonight. I already have another video that I just haven't posted yet that's completely done. It's unlisted on YouTube. So I'll post that in the next few days or something, and I'll get this one out maybe next week or whatever. It doesn't matter. You guys aren't going to be seeing this until it comes out anyway, so I'm talking to myself. But anyway, thanks for sticking around, and we'll talk soon. Later.
Of war in mind I ran away, see chaos lies behind me. But there's a place where I can see the golden bright sun blinds me.